What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We got the Falcon right behind us, and we're getting something installed in our boat today that is super cool. And it's something that is changing the tournament fishing industry. And I think you're gonna be seeing a lot of it this year. So guys, let's go get this bad boy installed and we're gonna talk about it. Every single tournament fisherman is gonna need this. All right, guys, as you've seen the sign, we are here at the Fish Lung shop getting the new Fish Lung Gen 2 installed in our boat. And I actually just picked up my boat from the local dealer, Dry Creek Marine, had it serviced. Had some issues with my jack plate relay, so they got me hooked up. So big shout out to Dry Creek Marine for that. But guys, we got some awesome stuff happening right here. And I've actually got the president of Fish Lung doing my install today, the man himself, Mr. Johnny Johnson. So I'm gonna introduce him and let him kind of talk to you about the product, kind of ins and outs, why this product can benefit you and what it actually does to our fisheries and to the health of the fish. So I'm gonna let Mr. Johnny Johnson take it away.
How are you guys doing today? We're excited to have Jordan here today and upgrade his system from a Gen 1 to a Gen 2. We put a lot of work into that Gen 2 to get it a easier to operate, smaller, more efficient system for you guys. So we're pretty stoked about that. Just a quick explanation of why we built the Fish Lung in the beginning and why we upgraded to the Gen 2. A lot of people don't realize when you take your water in the morning, you know, bass boats draft pretty shallow. They do that for a reason. And you're pulling your water in pretty early in the morning, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and you're pulling that water in from about 12 inches deep. And that water does not have a lot of oxygen in it. And that's where you're starting every morning. The dissolved oxygen level in your live well at that point is probably somewhere around 7 ppm. And it's really not enough to sustain life for a fish. So that's where everything else comes into play. Your live well systems, ice and everything else to try to keep those fish alive. And we just felt like there had to be a better way than all of that. And that's why we developed the system. So with Fish Lung Gen 2, what we're able to do is we're gonna put anywhere from 90 to 95% pure oxygen into your live well at a flow ratio of somewhere around 0.4 liters per minute. And that is really gonna elevate your oxygen level in the water. And that's gonna create an environment where your fish can not only survive, but thrive. And our goal is to give you your time back and allow you to fish during your tournaments and not worry about what's going on in your live well. Make dead fish penalties a thing of the past and help preserve some of these fisheries that are getting some of this high pressure. Preserve those and extend this tournament or extend this sport well into the future without putting so much pressure on it. And that's our goal, that's what we're doing. If you put a properly fizzed, healthy fish in this system, in your live well with this system, that's exactly what you're gonna get back out.
So guys, I've actually been running the Fish Lung for a little over a year right now, and that's the first Fish Lung that they came out with. I've been running that, and man, I've got nothing but good things to say about it. But this Gen 2, man, they have changed it up drastically. They've made it a smaller profile, more efficiency, more oxygen getting pumped into the live wells, and a whole lot of little tweaks to just make the system more efficient. But even running the original Fish Lung, my fish care game has gone through the roof. I've seen a significant difference in fish loss. My fish are a whole lot more healthier. Most of the tournaments that I've fished, you know, I get these fish up to the weigh-in scales, and they're just flopping around. The weigh-in official is just like, man, what the heck did you give these fish? And I'm like, it's the Fish Lung. This thing works awesome. It pumps in a whole lot more oxygen than what's even in the lake water. So yeah, that's what we're about to do. Johnny's already started working, so we're gonna kind of show this install. Right now he's taking out the original Fish Lung, but I'm gonna show the install, kind of what we do, how simple this new Gen 2 system is.
So what we're about to do now is remove the Fish Lung Gen 1 system, and as you see, it's a little bit larger box than what we're gonna replace with the Gen 2. But all of this right here This is being replaced. This is going away. So we got everything laid out just to show you the difference between the Gen 1 and the Gen 2. And you'll see, obviously, there's a big difference in size between the Gen 2 and the Gen 1. But really what we wanted to emphasize with this is how we were able to eliminate so much stuff. We've got the large stone of the Gen 1. We're eliminating that by going with two simple, smaller stones for a single live well system. It would be four, if you got a dual, it would be 4 stones. This is gone completely. So that's going to free up a lot of space in your boat. The only thing you're going to have besides this is a set of filters and a flow block. And then of course your tubing, which both systems have the tubing and your power cord. But that's basically it. One of the things we're super proud about, all of these valves, there were 5 total valves in the old system that we used for isolation to keep from moisture getting into our system. We were able to eliminate all of that and do all of that internally. Really, really proud of that. Makes it easier to use, less intimidating, easier to install. All right, so we're placing the housing in at this time on top of the little vibration isolators. And it just sets down on top of them, just like that. And that gives it the motion it needs to keep from vibrating around, so you never feel it. So, since we're replacing a system in Jordan's boat, a lot of his plumbing is already in place. This tube already goes to his live well, so we will not have to accomplish that. But if you're putting this system in your boat for the first time, you'll have to run a tube from your bilge area or from a storage box, wherever you choose to put this. It doesn't have to go in a bilge area, but your tube will go from the unit into your live well. You'll have to have that access. So make sure you do that first and get that ran to where your unit's going to be, so that that's all in place, because a lot of times you do have to move your batteries around to get to where you need it to be.
Let's open up this lid. Guys, I haven't even opened up my live well in months. That thing's dirty, it needs clean, but what Johnny was talking about is I've already got my hose ran. You just drill a hole in the back of your live well. You can really put it anywhere right here as long as you're not gonna drill into anything. But you know, I've already got my old stone taken out and my hose is already ran. So this is gonna be a lot easier to install as opposed to if you were a first-time buyer, first time installing this system. So we're doing everything that you have to do except for running the hose, because I already got the hose.
So at this point, we've got the filters mounted in place, system cartridges mounted in place, and we're custom cutting the tubes from the fish lung control box and running them straight into the system cartridges. That is the second one, and that is it right there. All right, so we're hooking up power to it at this time. The fuse holder that you'll need is supplied. The fuse is supplied as well. It's a 10 amp fuse. You just crimp it on. You'll run a power supply from an accessory switch at your dash. Just run it back to the bilge area, and then crimp it onto your fuse holder and onto the power cord that goes to the control unit, and then hook your ground up to your house battery. All right, so we got everything hooked up, power's hooked up, all of our filters are hooked up. We've got the line that connects the flow block to the live wells. The feed line is hooked up. So we got everything hooked up. Jordan, if you would, go ahead and turn the switch on. Let's make sure we got everything running.
Gotta remember which one it's on. Oh, it might help if we have the power turned on.
All right, let's do that.
All right. There we go.
Sounds good. Nice.
She is working, fellers. Now we got to put the stones in the live well.
All right, so we've got everything else installed, and before I put the stones in the live well, I always like to put an oxygen meter on the system and do a quick test, a performance test to see where we're at. And right now we're putting out just over 95% oxygen, which is really, really efficient. For the guys that don't know, our atmosphere is 20.9% oxygen, 78% nitrogen, And there's a few other things, argon, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, that make up about 1.1, 1.2% that make up the rest of it. So when you add up that 21% oxygen and that 78% nitrogen, that means we're really operating efficiently. We're kicking out just about every bit of the nitrogen and putting a very high medical grade oxygen straight into your live well. And your fish are really going to benefit from that. That's what's going to keep your fish alive during those long hot summer days when you catch that fish first thing in the morning. When you start off in the morning and that lake water is below 100% saturation, with this system, with the Gen 2 system, you'll be able to push that oxygen level up above, well above that 100% point before you ever put your first fish in it. And then we'll continue to push that oxygen level higher throughout the day, guaranteeing that your fish, when you fizz them and they're healthy, when they go in and they're not injured, you're going to pull a healthy fish out every time. All right, so now we're mounting the stones in the live well. You can use whatever method you want to mount them, or you don't even have to mount them if you don't want to. You can zip tie them in, or we've seen people that just let them hang in there. Personally, I like to mount them in. I use JB weld, water weld. It does really well. I cut about 1/4 inch off of that roll, and I just roll it up until it's properly mixed. And once that's done, I just stick it on the bottom of the stone, clean the bottom of the live well where it's going, and then press it down.
She is officially done. Look how clean that is. I've got so much room. This small profile system allows so much room back here. I'm super excited to be running this Fishlong Gen 2 for this year. And like I said earlier, it just gives me that edge with my fish care. I don't have to worry about fish care penalties and stuff like that. Worry about my fish dying. Not only for the tournaments, because we don't want any weight deducted for the tournaments, but it's also bad for the sport. If you keep killing your best genetics in the lake, eventually that lake is going to be deprived. Like lakes like Guntersville I love that are full of big 30-pound bags, 30-plus pound bags here recently. We want to keep those fish healthy and reproducing, keep those genetics in the lake. So this Fishlong is really doing a good job of that. And I think we're going to see a big impact here in a couple years, especially if a bunch of fishermen like you are getting these bad boys put into their boat. But guys, we just got the install. It was a very quick install. And we've got about roughly an hour or 2 hours to go fish. We're going to test this out. So I'm going to put all those clips into a different video. And, if I catch them, you'll see it. If not, then oh well, we'll just scrub it. My focus today was to highlight the Fishlong, what it does, what the benefit is, and kind of the install. So guys, if you got any more questions or need more information, go check out www.fishlong.com. I'll have a link down in the description below, but they've got great representatives. The guys will take care of you, get you the information that you need. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below if you got any questions, and if I know it, I'll answer. So we'll see y'all on the water next time.